Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text number 10. Kamasya Nendriya Pritihi. Kamasya Nendriya Priti Labhaha Jiveta Yavata Labho Jiveta Yavata Jivasya Tattva Jignasa Jivasya Tattva Jignasa Na Arthaha Yaha Cha Aha Karmabhihi Narto Yasceha Karmabhihi Karmasya Nendriya Pritir Labho Jiveta Yavata Jivasya Tattva Jignasa Nartho Yasceha Karmabhihi. Kamasya of desires. Na not. Indriya senses. Pritihi satisfaction. Labhaha gain. Jiveta self-preservation. Yavata so much so. Jivasya of the living being. Tattva the absolute truth. Jignasa enquiries. Na not. Arthaha end. Yascha iha whatsoever else. Karmabhihi by occupational duties. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthier life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's work. Kindly repeat the translation. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's work. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport. The completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards the fulfillment of the desires in sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion or even in salvation, the very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, the leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. The voters adore the so-called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense gratification, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always disappoint the voters by not satisfying their senses. The same is applicable in all other fields. No one is serious about the problems of life. Even those who are on the path of salvation desire to become one with the absolute truth and desire to commit spiritual suicide of sense gratification. But the Bhagavatam says that one should not live for sense gratification. One should satisfy the senses only in so much as required for the self-preservation and not for sense gratification. Because the body is made up of senses, which also require a certain amount of satisfaction, there are regulative directions for satisfaction of such senses. But the senses are not meant for unrestricted enjoyment. For example, marriage or combination of a man with a woman is necessary for progeny, but it is not meant for sense enjoyment. In the absence of voluntary resistance, there is a propaganda of family planning. But foolish men do not know that family planning is automatically executed as soon as there is search after the absolute truth. Seekers of the absolute truth are never allured by the unnecessary engagement in sense gratification, because the serious students seeking the absolute truth are always overwhelmed with the work of researching the truth. In every sphere of life, therefore, ultimate end must be seeking after the absolute truth, and that sort of engagement will make one happy because he will be less engaged in varieties of sense gratification. And what that absolute truth is explained as follows. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gavravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very nice verse in reply to the first question of the sages of the Naimisharanya. A wonderful reply, trying to understand why the sense gratification is not to be engaged in, but we have to engage in something else. And what is that is very clearly given in this purport. Merely the human beings are completely misguided with respect to the goal of the human life. And that's why the poster you have seen, what we have circulated day for yesterday, how many of you seen the poster? Not many of you, some of you. So the poster says, do you remember what the poster says, the topic of the, anybody? What should we ask the God when He appears in front of us or when we go to the temple, right? Many people, they don't have clarity on this. What a human being should do, who is the God, who am I, what is my relationship with Him, what I have to do when we go to a temple like this, what should we ask, Or all of a sudden the God may appear in front of you, who knows? Then at the time what we have to ask when the God appears, we have no clarity. Imagine now the Lord will appear in front of you. Can anyone of you tell me what is that you are going to ask the God? ఏం అడుగుతారు మీరు భగవంతుడిని? భగవంతుడు మీ ముందు ప్రత్యక్షమైతే ఓకే ఓకే ఎనీబడి ఎల్స్?
Please do whatever is good for me.
Okay, very good. Peace of mind. Then, anybody else? Many people, they have no clarity. I mean, I'm not talking about this crowd, but otherwise, we see so many temples have been thronged with the devotees, right? Manna edo Toli Ekadashi ani unnindi, right? Every temple is brimming with the devotees. Every temple is thronged with the devotees. And when they go there, what do? Many people, they come to our temple also, in the Golden Temple, which is there in the Banjara Hills. I keep observing once in a while, standing in a corner, what do these devotees will they do when they come to the temple? I see somebody comes and folds the hands and closes their eyes and they start praying. Somebody does meditation, somebody does coconut breaking, somebody does archana, somebody does something else, right? So many different activities they keep doing, but they have no clarity what they have to do. How many of you visit Tirupati? What do you do when you go to Tirupati? What do you ask the Lord? Huh? But otherwise, Tirupati Balaji is famous for sanctioning the financial desires, right? మనం స్వామివారి హుండీలో 1000 రూపాయలు వేసి స్వామి నాకు 1,00,000 రూపాయలు ఇవ్వు అని అడుగుతాం, రైట్? Tirupati is meant for that now. We go and put some money and ask 100x back. And many people, they have made Tirupati Balaji as an official business partner, right? 1% of it at the end of the year I will go and drop in Tirupati Hundi. Many of the devotees. It is good in one sense, nothing wrong in it, but is that is ultimate? Is that's what we are supposed to do when we meet the God personally, right? When you're going to the temple, don't think that the deities are some statues what you have in the home, like manam showcase lo bommalu pedtam kada. They are not the dolls. There is a supreme Lord who is standing himself. Meer elaga how you are able to see me face to face, right? The Lord is seeing you all, not that only you are seeing him. The Lord is seeing you. How you are walking into the temple, what is that mood and the bhava you are carrying in your heart towards him, right? When you are bringing a coconut or a flower, with what kind of a mood you are bringing him, all these things the Lord is observing. It's not a mere doll like in a showcase. So when you go and meet that person personally, right, what is that you have to interact with him? Nobody is having clarity. Like Prabhupada gives one example. In a village, one woman was walking with a bundle of wooden logs on the head, right? And she was walking, that bundle fell down. Then she was unable to put it back on her head. So then she was trying if somebody can help me to put me back this bundle. So then all of a sudden the Lord has appeared in front of her. Then the Lord will ask, what do you want? Then the woman will tell, please keep me this bundle on top of my head. And then the Lord will put that bundle on her head and he will disappear. Is this what we are supposed to ask when the Lord appears in front of us? There is much beyond all these things. Much, much beyond all these things. We always go to the temple and we pray, please take care of me and my needs. నాకు చక్కగా 3 పూట్ల భోజనం ఉండేలాగా చూడు. నాకు చక్కగా ఒక మంచి ఇల్లు ఇవ్వు. గివ్ మీ ఎ హౌస్, గివ్ మీ ఎ కార్, గివ్ మీ ఎ గుడ్ వైఫ్ ఆర్ ఎ హస్బెండ్, గివ్ మీ లాట్ ఆఫ్ మనీ. వై మనీ ఈజ్ రిక్వైర్డ్? To increase all these things, right? That is called as in English sense gratification, indriya tripti. This is what we always, the God, we go to the temple and ask for. Nothing more than this we ask. In general, 90% of the people in this world is what they will ask. But as I told, Bhagavatam is revolutionary. Bhagavatam says you don't ask all these things. These are all useless. In Telugu we tell, right? Naru posina vadu. Right? The Lord has created you. He has sent you to this world. He will take care of you. Why you have to ask, my dear Lord, give me food, give me some shelter, give me some car, give me some sense gratification. All these things are available for everyone at free of cost. You no need to ask. Forget about human beings. Take the animal beings in the forest, elephants, rhinoceros, right? Fish or the whales. How much food they need every day? Elephant, have you seen? How big it is. You can't bring an elephant into this hall. Such big elephant is. Have you seen any news today? Elephant has died because of not having the food. Have you seen? No. But have you seen a news in the world? So many people are dying because they don't have the food. Why this is like that? This is because completely mismanagement. We don't know what to do. What we have to do. We have no idea. We are only worried about sense gratification. That's what this verse says. What is this sense gratification? Yentidi indriya tripti. See, as a human being, we have something called as senses. Right? Telugulo emantam? Indriyalu. Right? How many senses are there? 5 senses, right? How these 5 senses are there? There are also sense objects, right? So when these senses come in touch with sense objects, right? This is called as sense gratification. Understood? So this sense gratification should be very, very limited. We can't do unlimitedly. This is what the human life is meant for. In the animal life, the sense gratification is unlimited. There is no restriction. No restriction. You can do how much ever you want. But in the human life, it is supposed to be restricted. That's why you are a human. Otherwise, there is no difference between the animal and the human. So what is this sense gratification? What do these animals will do? If you see, it is all divided into 4 things. What is that? Eating, sleeping, defending and mating. Right? What is this eating? All of us, we have to eat. Right? How many times we all eat? 3 times, right? Sometimes we also do some snacking in the evening time, right? Yeah, here, there, some coffee, tea, snacks. It will be keep going like that, right? many times there will not be any control on it. So this having the food is very much necessity, very much necessary for leading our life. All of you agree with this? Right? మనం భోజనం చేయకపోతే ఏమవుతుంది? If we don't eat the food, we will not have the energy to live. Right? So it will become very difficult to perform any activities. So we should have the food, but should have only how much ever you should have, not beyond certain limit. If you do indulge in more having the food, you will put on weight, right? That's why today lot of weight loss engagements have become very famous, right? When you go on to Instagram or YouTube or something, everybody talks about losing the weight, how to lose your belly, how to lose your 5 kg, 10 kg. You come to our clinic, we will do one injection, your belly will be cut. All these things they talk about. Why we have to get into all these things? So eat limited food, only how much ever you are supposed to, and whatever is required to be eaten, not beyond that. This is how we should try to restrict our senses. Like Prabhupada gives a wonderful example of the tortoise. All of you know tortoise, tabelu, right? If you have seen tabelu, there is a shell, right? And this tortoise will put out its head, legs and hands only whenever it want to move, right? Or whenever it want to eat, it will come out of that, eat nicely, go here and there, and again get into the shell, right? The same way our senses should be utilized only whenever it is required. It is not that always you keep going for a shopping, you see on the way pani puri, eat, ice cream, eat, gobi manchurian, eat, Domino's pizza, eat, KFC, you eat, McDonald's, you eat. Your stomach is not dustbin. Is it dustbin? No. Stomach is a very, very important organ which is taking care of the whole body. Right? So we should control. So in these 5 indriyas, right? What are the 5 indriyas? Can we name one by one? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and the skin, right? In these panchendriyas, can anyone of you tell me what is the most difficult sense to control? What is that? All of you agree with it? Very difficult. We can't control anything, whatever we see, we want to put into. But if you want to lead a spiritual life in a very nice way, we have to control the tongue especially. And when you control the tongue, automatically all other 5 senses will come into control. Automatically. You don't need to do any much endeavor. But unfortunately, the human beings don't understand what is this importance of controlling these senses. That's why in this purport also, Prabhupada is telling, the voters adore the so-called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. Yes or no? Voters, all of you vote? Recently we had voting, right? For the assembly and the central. We all voted. And many people, they vote to the parties who promises them sense gratification. I very vaguely remember all these free schemes are started in Tamil Nadu, right? Hope nobody is recording what I am talking about. This is only for our personal interaction, right? In Tamil Nadu, I remember giving color televisions about 15-20 years back, freely distributed for the people when they win the elections. This how these free schemes, of course before that also the free schemes were there, but they were in smaller scale. But when the politicians, they understood, we have to announce free schemes, right? Now we are seeing even in Telangana and Karnataka, there is a free transportation for the women, Matajis. They can get into the bus and they can keep traveling anywhere they want. Actually, men are complaining in the bus, there used to be reserved for ladies, there used to be some seats, 2-3, right? Now they are asking reserved for men, there should be some seats in the buses. So that is a kind of a scenario that when you give the free schemes, so many free schemes. The old people, there is a pension. Woman, there is a pension. Farmer, there is a pension. Students, there is fee reimbursement, right? And just you go for 1 hour work, the panchayat people will pay you 500 rupees. So many schemes, just give them, just give the money, keep dispensing the money. Why? Politicians understood, unless you gratify the senses of the people, they will not be winning, they will not vote for you. So they will invest money and again they become into the power and again they earn so much money. It's become again one more cycle of business. This is what happens if with less intelligence, if we elect some leaders for this society. We should never be behind the sense gratification. We should look at the leaders who will do the ultimate good for the humanity. Right? What is that ultimate good? The Bhagavatam gives complete details. What is this ultimate good for the humanity? Humanity should not be behind the sense gratification. Right? So we will try to see what are all this, as a human being, what we should be doing. As a human being, what is the chapter name? Anybody knows? The chapter name is Divinity and Divine Service. This chapter, second chapter name is, what is the chapter name? Divinity and Divine Service, which is a very, very powerful tool which Bhagavatam gives to this humanity. A human being should be doing only that divine service. Nothing else is required in this human life. When you do the devotional service or the divine service, you have everything in complete. Everything. It's just like when you have 2000 rupees note with you, right? You already have a 1000 rupees note with you, right? You already have a 500 rupees with you. You already have a 100 rupees. You already have a 10 rupees. So you no need to endeavor separately for something else. So being a human being, we should be doing only one thing. What is that? Divine service, devotional service. So this is completely opposite to the sense gratification. So the Bhagavatam says, there is a one beautiful verse. It says, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam Hrishikena sevanam bhakti ruchyate. What is the meaning of it? Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of the senses, when the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from the all material designations and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. See, such a simple thing to understand. What should we do? Bhagavatam says a very simple thing. We will take another 5 minutes or 10 minutes to close, right? We should understand what we should try to do with the help of these indriyas. So, imagine you have a car, right? You are the car owner and you have a driver for driving the car. So imagine now the car should be utilized for whose service? The car owner service or for the driver purpose? ఎవరికి ఉపయోగించాలి కార్ని? కార్ ఓనర్ పర్పస్ కా లేకపోతే డ్రైవర్ కోసం ఉపయోగించాలా? All of you agree with this? We have to use the car for the owner's requirement. If the owner want to go for shopping, he want to go for some next village or a town or work or something, the car should be utilized for that purpose. Not for driver want to go for eating in a restaurant, he want to go for shopping. What owner will think? Owner will not agree. Yes or no? The same way, who is the owner of these senses, the body? Who is the owner? Is it you? Who is the owner? The Supreme Lord Krishna. He is the owner of these senses, this body, right? So you should be utilizing these senses in your service or in Krishna's service. You should use in Krishna's service, not in your service. In your service means what? To satisfy yourself. You want to see beautiful things like movies in IMAX theater and satisfy your eyes? Not recommended. You see wonderful form of the Lord. See so nicely the Lord is been decorated, right? So you should see the Lord and enjoy, right? Seva Priya, don't operate. Just and you want to your ears. You want to hear some movie songs, pop, rock, music and all these things. For what? You want to enjoy yourself. But this belongs to whom? Krishna. So you have to hear what? Kirtans and bhajans and Krishna Katha, Bhagavata Katha. These things you have to hear. Tongue, right? You can't eat Domino's Pizza, KFC, McDonald's. You should eat only Krishna Prasadam. Yes or no? Only when you use your senses in Krishna's service, that is the right way of using and doing the devotional service. Very, very important. Please understand this. You can't use your body whatever the way you want, because it is not owned by you. The owner is Krishna. You have to use your body only in Krishna's service. See how much revolutionary knowledge Bhagavatam is giving. That's why no spiritual preacher talks about Bhagavatam. ఎందుకంటే ఇలాంటివి నచ్చవు కదా జనాలకి. ఇలాంటివి చెప్తే అయ్యో ఇవన్నీ ఎవరు చేస్తారు, మేము పోయి తినాలి జంక్ ఫుడ్, మేమంతా బయటికి పోయి ఎంజాయ్ చేయాలి, బట్ ఇక్కడికి వస్తే ఇవన్నీ చేయకూడదు అని చెప్తాం కదా. So nobody likes this kind of restrictions. So that's why people don't come to Hare Krishna temple so easily. Only intellectual people, only whoever is serious in developing their bhakti lata, their devotional life, only those kind of people will come to Hare Krishna temple and try to understand this Bhagavatam. Right? So this is how we should try to use our senses in service of the God, which is very, very important. And why? Because all of you should know. Then you may ask, then how I will get satisfaction? Because for our satisfaction also important, right? We have to take care of the driver of the car also. It is not only our satisfaction. We have to take care of the driver also. So Prabhupada gives beautiful example. How is that? Now imagine you stand in front of the mirror. You decorate nicely. Put lipstick, put powder, put tilak, whatever you want. Everything we do, right? When you do like this, automatically the image in the mirror also gets decorated. All of you agree with this? Or separately you should decorate that image in the mirror, putting tilak, bindi. After putting here, you put one more bindi there? No, right? It automatically gets decorated. Same way, when you satisfy Krishna, you will get automatically satisfied. Understood? Prabhupada gives one more example. There is a plant, big tree is there, right? You want to take care of this plant very nicely so that it will give some fruits and flowers over a period of time. Where do you pour the water? You will pour the water onto the fruits? Do you pour the water onto the fruits and flowers? You pour the water to the roots. When you pour the water to the roots, automatically the water gets dissipated throughout the plant. The plant will become so healthy, nourished, and it will start giving fruits and flowers and greenish leaves and so much shade and everything. Automatically it gets nourished, right? The same way, when you serve the Lord, the whole creation, including you, gets nourished automatically. Understood? Now imagine there is a rasgulla. You see a rasgulla, right? How do you enjoy this rasgulla? Tell me now. Okay. Then after that, now this hand want to enjoy the rasgulla. So can you take this rasgulla into the hand and keep like this? Can this hand get the enjoyment of rasgulla? Can it get the enjoyment of rasgulla? What it should do? Put into the mouth, and then the rasgulla should go into the stomach. It should get digested. Then the energy is circulated throughout the body, right? And then as a part of the whole engagement, the energy comes to the hand also. Then the hand gets satisfied. Right? The same way, when you serve the Lord, right, you will get automatically satisfied. You no need to do anything else. Please understand, simple formula. No need to do anything else. Just serve the Lord. Just serve the Lord. The satisfaction, the happiness, what you are looking for, automatically it will come to you. You no need to go and search everywhere. You no need to ask anything else to the Lord. I will conclude by telling one small story. Right? All of you know Dhruva Maharaj? Some of you might not be knowing. So Dhruva is a small kid. Chinna Abbai. Is about 5-6 years. This boy's father name is Uttanapada, the king. King Uttanapada had 2 wives. And the younger wife was very jealous about the elderly wife. And he was also jealous about this Dhruva, who was born to the elderly wife. So one day, King Uttanapada was sitting on the Simhasana like this. So the children were playing around. The small boy, the Dhruva, was also playing around. With a fatherly affectionate, he will come and, Papa, please take me, right? Children will ask. So Dhruva also asked like that. So the Uttanapada, the king, he took him and kept him on the lap. Then immediately the stepmother came and saw, Dhruva, how dare you sit on the lap of the king? You are not supposed to. Come down. And she will drag down this Dhruva, small kid, Imagine what happens to him and his feelings at such a young age. Then this boy starts crying and goes to his mother and asks, my dear mother, I am really feeling very, very bad. What should I do if you want me to sit back again on the lap of my father? Then mother says, you should earn a huge kingdom. Then you can also become king. Then your father will welcome and make you to sit on his lap. Or you can also become much bigger king. He's a very small kid, They'll ask very big questions, very intellectual questions they will ask. Sometimes parents will not be able to answer. Happened with all of us, right? So Dhruva also will ask the same kind of question. What should I do if you want me to earn this kind of a kingdom? Then she says, only God can give you that kind of a kingdom. Only Krishna can give you that kind of a kingdom. Then the Dhruva will not stop with it. Dhruva will ask, where can I find Krishna? Tell me. Then mother will tell, I was told great sages and munis, they go to the forest in search of the Krishna or the God, and they do a lot of austerities there. Then this boy, young boy, at 5 years age, he says, now I will go to forest. I will go to forest. Mother will tell, hey, I told you just like that. If you go to forest, lot of tigers and lions and all these things are there. They'll come and eat you away. Forget about your kingdom and all that. He says, nothing doing. I have to earn this kingdom. I have to see the Lord. I have to take the blessing of the Lord and earn this kingdom. I have to go, no other way. He will walk away. All these things Krishna is observing, right? Whatever we keep doing, Krishna is observing. The same way, when the Dhruva is walking away from the home, Krishna is observing. Then immediately, he will summon Narada Muni. Narada, look at this boy. Such a young boy, so much determined to see me. Please guide him properly and tell him to go back to palace. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for him to be in the forest. Right? Then Narada comes in front of this boy Dhruva. And Dhruva starts talking to Narada. Hey Dhruva, where are you going? I'm going to forest. Why? In search of Krishna. It's not so easy, man. He says, no problem. I'll try to do something about it. Then he understands this boy is very determined. He is not ready to go back. Then he will make him his disciple. And when Guru makes him disciple, it is Guru's duty to ensure that he connects him to the God. That is a primary duty of a spiritual master. That's why we all recommend all of you should do the Guru Puja to our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, every day. Right? Only then he can deliver you Krishna. Getting my point? Right? That's why all of you should come early to this place, at least on Sunday. What time is the Guru Puja? 7:30 is a Guru Puja. All of you should come by 7:30. Do the Guru Puja. Offer flowers to him. Then he will deliver you the Supreme Lord. That is the spiritual master's position. Now who is Dhruva's spiritual master? Narada. So Narada's responsibility to deliver Krishna to Dhruva. Then he says, now you chant this mantra. What is that mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This mantra he gives and initiates. Like how we give the Hare Krishna mantra, right? Because this is happening, Dhruva's story is happening when? Which yuga? Satya Yuga. Now we are in which yuga? Kali Yuga. So don't follow the same thing of Satya Yuga, not possible. Understood? Kali Yuga is a different mantra. Many people will get confused. Don't get confused. So when Narada initiates him with the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he goes and with a great intensity he starts chanting Hare Krishna mantra, the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya mantra, and within no time Krishna will appear in front of him. And appears, and the moment he appears, Krishna will tell, my dear Dhruva, I am pleased with your devotion, with your determination to see me. Please tell me, what do you want? Then Dhruva, anargalanga పద్యాలు శ్లోకాలు అన్నీ చెప్పేస్తాడనమాట. ఇంకా ఎందుకంటే ఆ డివోషన్ అనేది ఆటోమేటికలీ వచ్చేస్తుంది మనకి, రైట్? సో దట్స్ హౌ Dhruva Maharaj's prayers are there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Very important. When you get some time, you search them and try to read them and understand. In that, one of the very, very important verse, which is also relevant to today's verse, is that Sthanabhilashi